5:30 in the morning. Suddenly, my senses are assaulted by the splash of cold water, the smell of chlorine, and the sight of teenage boys in Speedos. As I dive into the pool, I stare across my lane at the far wall. For the next 2 hours, I will travel back and forth along this same path and touch this same wall over 200 times. As I begin the daily tedious journey, my mind begins to wonder, why do I reconcile my personal limitations to the competitive challenges of swimming? To answer this question, I must examine not only competitive swimming, but also myself. At 5 feet tall and barely 100 pounds, I do not fit your average profile of a competitive swimmer. This sport is dominated by giant males with soaring wingspans, and I am a relatively small torpedo in these combative waters. The moment a person is submerged in water, the survival instinct kicks in, and the body screams for air. My coach is constantly yelling at me, "You don't need to breathe, it slows you down." Sometimes I'd like to tell him that my lungs beg to differ, but swimming is about mind over matter. The best swimmers don't waste time with such triviality as breathing. In fact, when Florent Manodou of France won the 50 free in the London Olympics this past summer, he took exactly 0 breaths. Maybe it's oxygen deprivation that causes me to rise to the challenge of swimming? Or maybe it's the amount of food I get to consume. I remember the day when my coach told me we needed to have a nutrition talk. Dreading it, I remember thinking, oh boy, here it comes. My life of Twinkies and milkshakes is over. However, I was wrong. Coach told me that because of the amount of calories I was burning every day in practice, I needed to be consuming exponentially more food. When my coach told me that foods like pizza and ice cream are great for swimmers, I knew I was in the right sport. One thing that makes swimming unique is that it is both an individual and a team sport. Teams are awarded points based on each swimmer who places in an event. However, the real joy is on a personal level, when you swim an event faster than you have ever done before. One of the most encouraging feelings is seeing and hearing my friends and teammates cheering for me from the side of the pool. Maybe that is why I strive for success in swimming. In competitions, swimmers wear different types of suits to reduce drag. Girls wear a knee skin, which goes up to your chin and down to your knees. Interestingly, boys don't usually follow this bigger suit is faster rule. Instead, they choose to wear tiny little Speedos. This means that at most high school meets, the girls are totally covered up while the boys are prancing around in almost nothing. Maybe that is why I like swimming. But in all seriousness, what I enjoy most about swimming is the opportunity to see a reflection of who I am. There's a moment of stillness after flipping at the wall when I push off underwater. Amidst the muddle of cheers from the crowd, yells from coaches, and the roar of water, there's a sudden retreat of silence. As I kick toward the surface, I can see my reflection, shimmering in the intangible space between my body and the surface of the water. Like a brilliant shadow on the surface, I see not Michael Phelps or Missy Franklin, but myself, swimming against the odds with all that I have. In this moment, I am reminded why I love to swim. Because the challenge of the sport shows me a reflection of myself. It forces me to do something I am not naturally good at, which makes me step outside of my comfort zone and do things I never knew I could.